Matt here with the big guy of Fnatic, as we now love to call you. And what did you just tell me literally as I was pushing the red button?
So it's just ticked over midnight in Australia for Monday morning, which means I'm now just turned 30 in Australian time. So I got a few more hours of my 20s left in this country.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
I interviewed Skies yesterday on the, was it yesterday? Gosh, it's such a blur. I interviewed Skies on his birthday.
Yeah.
He was miserable.
Yeah. Because
they weren't in the 6th major anymore. This seems to be a trend.
Yeah.
Been a couple of days for you, obviously, after the groups. How are you? How's the team?
Pretty good. We took the knockout pretty hard. Yeah. But we bounced back. We got some stuff to do. But I think ultimately the important thing for us is we're still an inexperienced team. We've been to like 3 or 4 of these. But the teams that are here have been to a lot more. They get to go to the DreamHacks. They get to go to like the Happy Yoga Pit series and all these events that we don't get back home. So we're ever closer. I mean, back 6 Invitational 6 months ago. Black Dragons 10 Wonders, 2 maps clean. This time we took a 3rd map, took a map. So ever improving, but it's hard to keep catching up.
Yeah, and I know other teams in other games down in the APAC region, and I know casters in Australia and on. Like, the scene is brilliant, and there are great talent and great players in many esports games coming out. And then for Fnatic to take you guys, like, that's a huge thing. For Fnatic to take a team, basically on the other side of the world. Yeah. Can I take you back to when that happened for you? How and what was your first knowledge that Fnatic were interested in?
So it all happened very quickly. We had a few offers from a couple of organisations, and we were contemplating and weighing it up and choosing, and then we sort of got wind that, hey, somebody that's pretty big wants to speak to you guys. And
how did you get wind of that?
It was basically through an email from Ubisoft that said we've been reached out to and that they wanted to speak to you. Okay, like, are you sure you've got the right team? And they're like, yep, definitely you guys. And we had the meeting with them, and we were sort of like, why us? There's better teams out there.
Really? Did you say that to Fnatic?
Why us? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're renowned for having the best teams in Europe. Yeah. It's part of their legacy. But they pointed out, they have very strong teams all over Europe already. For them, picking up another European team in a game that's not quite as big as the other titles they have might not make as much sense, and the APAC is a growing market. The Japanese have recently changed some legislation around their gaming infrastructure, and
you didn't used to be able to win prize money in Japan.
Absolutely.
If you won a tournament, prize money was just not permitted, but now it is, so that makes things very different.
Yeah, so Japan's getting on board, and Nora's shown a lot of growth. And if you've seen a Nora Rango jersey, they have a lot of sponsors on their back now. So they've come leaps and bounds. I mean, our old organisation Mindfreak had a good following for an APAC team, but Nora Rango have already overtaken that, since they started, and they're just in Siege. So
I know Asia is a particularly important market for Fnatic as well. I know they're trying to do more stuff over there. So picking you guys up makes a lot of sense from them, but they don't do that sort of thing easily. I've met with Fnatic about other things that I can't go into. I know, like, they obviously, it goes without saying, they know their business. They don't screw around. It's a big deal that they're in Siege, and like, we were all so pleased for you. So when it actually came about and you knew, you were going to be Fnatic in black and orange, how did you feel? How long did it take for that to sink in?
It took a while, because from the initial conversation to the moment we signed, joined and everything was about 2 days turnaround.
Okay.
Because it was leading up to our APAC qualification for for Atlantic City.
Oh yes,
so
yes.
It sort of happened like we signed on the Thursday and we played on the Saturday under Fnatic. And for us, it was like, I mean, we've had some pretty poorly kept secrets in our scene, but I mean, a lot of people were guessing and stabbing, but like genuinely no one had
we get the eyeballs on Twitter a lot.
So it was good. It probably took a couple of months after that to sink in. I think it really sort of hit home.
A couple of months.
Yeah. I think the big thing, we just come from London boot camp at Fnatic HQ.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And I think that's when it sunk in, like seeing the team, meeting the guys, meeting everyone behind the scenes.
You flew all the way over to London.
Yes.
Boot camp. Yeah, that must have been a real kind of, well, things are now different, right?
Yeah,
very different.
Staying in their office, meeting everyone, like that's sort of when it felt real. Like when you could physically touch them and be like, hey, putting like faces and to the names and the voices, and that's sort of when it felt like it was.
Did you meet with like Valter and Sam and those kind of guys? They're like the big guys of Fnatic.
It's the most bizarre thing. Walter and Sam would like knock on our door and ask to come in, and for me, like I'm just like, it's all yours. Like do what you want.
Valter's the CEO of the whole deal. Yeah. And Yeah.
He came in and he introduced himself to all the guys and said hello, and that was a really humbling experience. Like, to sort of take time out of his day to meet everyone and say good day, and for us it was just like, and the boys sort of like all looked at me like, is that the CEO? And I'm like, yeah, and like for them it was a huge deal. Like, they really appreciated that.
Wow. So Fnatic's on the jersey. And there's orange and black everywhere.
Yeah.
And it looks really good, obviously. So yeah, big news for you guys. Then we go and do Pro League and we have fun in Atlantic City, and then it comes to this and it's not what you wanted at all, is it?
No, it was a disappointing result. I think the hardest thing about it is it was our mistakes that cost us that game. We threw the first map really hard. We had like a 4-0 or a 4-1 lead on Banker, and it just got dissolved through poor intel, poor communication. We regathered on the second map and sort of pulled back a lead, went into the third map and came out strong as well. And then from there, like, there were a few pivotal rounds where we lost a couple of 2v2s just from poor intel gathering or poor decision making. And so like the second map we never should have, like, it should have been 2-0 to us, and then the third map, like, it could have been 4-2 quite easily to us in our favour. So I put it down to a lot of inexperience. I mean, we're still a young team. Yes, we're a big organisation in terms of representing Fnatic, but we still have a lot to learn. We've only been to sort of like 3 of these international majors.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Whereas, you know, most of these teams here have been to like that many in a couple of months.
Yeah.
You know, so
some of them, like, since the beginning, like Pengu's been and everything. We've been around since day one. I remember him at the first one. Yeah, you've done this Pro League and the big performance at the Invitational, right? Yeah, that's when we were all like, oh, hello, APAC.
Yeah.
Told you APAC should be in this. So, what goes next? Obviously, you turn more 30 in more time zones.
Turn more 30. Back home, we have a couple of weeks left in our APAC Pro League. In the APAC region, we have playoffs for each sub-region. So the top 4 Australian teams will go to a playoff within Australia. The top 2 will then head over to Tokyo for the APAC finals.
Yeah, that's how it works with the 4 sub-regions that we've got. So.
So probably boot camp before Tokyo. Make sure we have a good showing in Tokyo, because as we saw yesterday, winning Tokyo and making Rio will mean we've been to Tokyo, we go to Rio, and we secure our 6th Invitational spot.
Yeah, so we announced that yesterday, that the Season 8 finals of Pro League are places in the 6th Invitational in February next year. Tickets on the 27th of September. Don't remember. So the 6th don't remember?
Don't forget.
Don't forget. I say words for a living. How does it work for you guys? You go back home, you're all over the place, right? How do you pull this team together to get them to where they need to be for the finals?
I mean, I think ultimately it's just going to come down to spending a bit more time dry running things, going over new strategy, developing new strategy. A lot of the stuff that we sort of had kept hidden for this event, we can now bring out back home.
So there's stuff we haven't seen because you're holding it back.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, when you got people like Twister and Ranger and stuff that you may be facing that spend hours and hours deconstructing VODs, you know, we can afford to sort of play things a little bit safe at home. Whereas now that it's, you know, we've brought a few things out, we still have a few things up our sleeve, might as well go for broke and make sure we're at Tokyo.
Right. And coaching and managing and all that sort of things must be easier now that you're part of Fnatic. You were saying to me a little while ago that needs to happen more so now for you to keep up with the other teams.
Yeah, I think so. Like it's especially at these events, there's a lot of media coordination, interviews, access to players. So you spend a lot of your time just managing time and appearances. You know, so once the coaching's done, which unfortunately for us it was a bit early, I can move into managing. But you know, it's a newfound respect for people like Shas and stuff that are still doing this, and he has to do the coaching and still doing all the media and the managing. So you know, I envy him in some respect being up there now in the grand final, but in other respects he has to do twice the job that I do sometimes.
Well, thank you for your time. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. No, I appreciate that, and good luck to you and your boys. I want to bring you back on another stage. I really do.
6 invitations.
So, yeah.
And Rio.
Let's do Rio in between. Please like the video. Please follow him. Where can they find you?
Twitter, at Dizzle with a J. Twitch, at Dizzle with a J. Facebook, Instagram, all the same, at Dizzle with a J.
There you go. And I'm Matt Andrews TV, if you didn't know. Carry on following the channel here on YouTube and like the video, please, and subscribe, and I'll carry on taking you to meet wonderful people like this man at wonderful events like this. I'll show you how they're done as well. So that's me, Matt Andrews TV, also on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and ESL_Matt on Twitch. Thanks, Dizzle.
Pleasure. Thank you.